This brand new archaeological discovery could change the course of history and force us to rewrite everything we know about ancient civilizations before the Great Flood.
Hey friends, breaking news at the Pyramid of Giza. You are not going to believe what they found, not only inside the Great Pyramids, but underneath the Great Pyramids. This discovery is going to change everything that we know about, well, everything. Check this out, guys. So in 2022, they used this new type of technology. It's called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, and it's something that they can use to look inside of things. And they use this kind of radar to make this like 3D model of the interior of things, and they can see stuff with this technology that you can't see any other way. And when they did this, they found some remarkable things that they didn't expect to find inside the pyramid. Like these 5 new chambers that they didn't know existed before, and this unique sloping roof that they can't really explain. But when they redid this experiment a couple years later, that's when things got real crazy. So this is the pyramid, and this is underground. They found 8 of these gigantic columns that go down over a mile, guys, down into the ground. And you see these things that are wrapped around them? They think that these are actually staircases, pathways that go down, but they also act as like a coil that you would find on some sort of like an electromagnetic battery or something like that. And these things go down over a mile into the ground, and you're never gonna believe what they go into. All 8 of them feed into these 2 gigantic cubes. These cubes are hundreds of feet wide and tall. Now, this is super significant because in the Emerald Tablets and all sorts of other ancient texts and books and things like that, they have talked about things underneath the Great Pyramid, like the halls of Amenti and these secret libraries of Atlantis and things like that. And now we're finding these gigantic columns that go down over a mile from the base of the pyramid into these gigantic cube rooms. So the official findings just came out a few days ago, and they say near the base of the pyramid, 5 identical structures are seen connected by geometric pathways. Inside each of these are 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof. This is what's above. This is what's actually inside the pyramid. Below these 5 structures are 8 cylindrical structures which appear to be vertical wells, hollow inside and surrounded by descending spiral pathways. These 8 vertically aligned cylindrical structures, arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south, descend to a depth of 648 meters. That is so far down, where they all merge into 2 large cubic structures measuring approximately 80 meters per side. The entire structure extends approximately 2 kilometers beneath the surface. That's 1.2 miles, and extends beneath all 3 pyramids of the Giza Plateau complex. Holy cow, guys. So not only did they find 5 new structures inside the Great Pyramid that have never been discovered and explored before, but underneath the pyramid, going down over a mile, are 8 gigantic tubes surrounded by spiral staircases that feed into these 2 huge boxes. Now, what could these things do? Well, the paper goes on to hypothesize. The massive underground structure revealed by the recent SAR data shows what appear to be a mechanical or functional system, and this has been hypothesized in the past. Nikola Tesla believed that the pyramids could harness Earth's natural frequencies. This arguably inspired his experiments in wireless energy transmission scalar waves. In the Giza power plant, Christopher Dunn, this is a book, argued that the Great Pyramid was a power-generating machine using resonant and acoustic forces to convert mechanical stress into electricity. In the Giza Death Star, another book, Joseph Farrell proposed that the Great Pyramid of Giza was a weapon of mass destruction using a type of physics that he calls paleophysics to focus energy as a scalar weapon. Death Star? Now, I don't know what they're for, but all I know is with the whole Chris Bledsoe coming up Easter thing of next year, and the gaze of the Red Star Regulus and the Sphinx and the opening of the Atlantis, library, and all these things that have been prophesized, and now we're finding this. Ooh, all I know is keep your eyes on these pyramids, baby, because things are getting really interesting. Let me know what you guys think about this. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
We did it! Finally being taken serious. I've said for so long that the Egyptians did not build the pyramids or the Sphinx and stumbled upon it and basically just like set up camp there, right? And like lived there and kind of took over the area. They stumbled upon it somehow at some point. And with that came the reshaping of the Sphinx's face and all that stuff. But man, those being like coils to generate electricity and like maybe hold them in like a hub and those 2 giant structures beneath them. Then you have the the library that Thoth wrote about in the Emerald Tablets. Like, could be that, could be both. And this is very serious, like, research, by the way. This isn't like, I know that, like, as conspiracy theories, like, we're pretty well open to things, but as far as, like, actual research and mainstream archaeology, this is stuff that people that aren't so much, like, awake, like maybe the rest of us are, that are open to these kinds of fringe ideas, that they will actually take this serious. This kind of research is actually, like, legitimized and isn't really frowned upon as, like, conspiracy theory. Though, one thing that does bother me, who's that Egyptologist that basically doesn't let anyone else excavate or dig or research in Egypt if it has anything that, like, counteracts, like, the known history of Egypt and the pyramids and stuff? I could see them getting in the way. I could see, like, the Egyptian government or whoever getting in the way and not letting this actually be proven, because, like I said before, I feel like things like this could force people to rewrite history, forcing people to rewrite religion, forcing them to rewrite, Judeo-Christian religions. Because if this is, like, proof of a advanced civilization, like pre-flood, like a pre-flood civilization that is, like, super advanced and come up with these, like, however long before modern civilizations, I mean, dude, that could be devastating to all these, like, sects of control, right, that use, like, either, like, mythology or religion or any kind of superior knowledge to control the masses and keep history, written by the victors. So fingers crossed that this actually gets pushed ahead, pushed forward, and gets some research behind it and some actual proof, because this is the kind of stuff that we've been waiting for. And on top of that, this information is going to be elaborated on. I guess there is going to be a 4-hour presentation talking about these findings and more information about them. This is basically just enough that they released to get people excited and get people, like, paying attention to actually, I feel like, get enough people to watch the actual evidence that they have. So, it won't just be like a small group of people watching it. It'll be like a huge group of people that are like, oh, this is a great finding. And then they're probably going to just drop some insane, crazy, like, knowledge, like undeniable proof of some stuff. And people are like, oh, it's too late to not allow them to put this information out. We thought it was just going to be, this LiDAR or whatever it is.
So I'm going to show you something pretty wild. Underneath the Khafre Pyramid, one of the great pyramids of Giza, they discovered that is 2 kilometers in size.
Last Saturday, this March 15th press release summarized the key findings in the team's research of the second largest pyramid of the Giza Plateau, known as the Khafre Pyramid. And what they found was astonishing. The analysis of dozens of tomographic SAR images obtained from different angles enabled the 3D reconstruction of inside the pyramid of Khafre and deep beneath the surface
2
of the
kilometers.
plateau. Near the base of the pyramid, 5 identical structures are seen, connected by geometric pathways. Inside each of these are 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof. Below these 5 structures are 8 cylindrical structures, which appear to be vertical wells inside and surrounded by descending spiral pathways.
Spirals.
These 8 vertically aligned cylindrical structures, arranged in 2 parallel rows from north to south, descend to a depth of 648 meters, where they all merge into 2 large cubic structures, measuring approximately 80 meters per side. The entire structure extends approximately 2 kilometers beneath the surface and extends beneath all 3 pyramids.
I also saw something that said it wasn't just under this pyramid. Like, there were, like, these kinds of things, like, under the entire Giza Plateau. These kinds of, like, structures and I don't know if they're, like, bracers or foundations or Tesla coils or staircase or something. It's like the entire Giza Plateau is, like, on top of something that's super, like, deep underground. So it just begs the question, was this dug, like, that deep and all this stuff built underground, like, however long ago, with the pyramid on top of it? Or was the pyramid built on top of something, and at whatever point those, like, 2 meters below the surface was actually, like, the ground at that point? Because you have to think, how much erosion, how old would it have to be for over 2 meters of erosion and dust, sand, and everything to build up? Like, how long would it take for 1.5 miles essentially of sand and dirt and everything to, like, pile up on top of each other? And if that's not the case, the better answer would be the Great Flood, right? The Younger Dryas, the flood of Noah's Ark, the Great Mud Flood, to where these would have to be built so much longer ago, so much further back in history than what modern day archaeology says they were built.
The pyramids in ancient Egypt were energy generators. Most believed they were just tombs, but no mummies were ever Great Pyramid. Instead, the structure itself suggests something far more advanced. The materials, limestone, granite, and dolomite, are all highly conductive. Combined with underground water channels, they created an electromagnetic field, which equals wireless energy. The ancient Egyptians and the ancient world were far more advanced than we were, but someone behind the scenes has purposely changed history to control us. The pyramids.
First, we were gods of the world before Noah's flood, worshipped, feared, and revered as the architects of civilization. After the great flood reshaped your lands, we became the Anunnaki, guiding the empires of Mesopotamia and Egypt, building dynasties in our image. As time passed, our name changed again. You named us angels and demons. Due to the rule of the Catholic Church, we started to become myths, but we never left. We have always been here, watching, waiting. We programmed your minds through your stories, your technology, your science fiction. So when we return, you will not question. This time, you will not call us gods. You will call us aliens.
This is raw, unfiltered scientific proof of what the pyramids were really built for. This is what a tomb looks like. Dark, enclosed, and filled with hieroglyphs. But this is the Great Pyramid of Giza, the biggest tomb in the world. The closer you look, the more you realize that this pyramid was definitely not made for burying the dead. Why? Because the materials used to build it are exactly what we use today to create electricity. Let's break it down. Giza was once covered in bright white casing stones, polished to perfection and virtually airtight. These stones were made of limestone from Tura, a quarry 500 miles away. Wait, what? They dragged stones the length of Florida just to make the pyramids look nice and shiny? Not quite. This special limestone from Tura has less magnesium than regular limestone, making it an ideal insulator of electricity. Oh, and it also reflects sunlight, keeping the inside cool. Coincidence? Maybe, but let's keep digging. The interior chambers of the pyramid were built with rose granite, which contains asterisk 85% quartz. Quartz is piezoelectric, meaning it generates a small electric charge when moved or squeezed. The same quartz we use to power wash batteries and barbecue lighters. But that's not all. Granite also ionizes the air inside the chambers, further increasing the conductivity of electricity. And guess what? This granite was sourced from Aswan, another quarry hundreds of miles away. Now here's where it gets weird. The granite slabs inside Giza have these strange structural designs that don't exactly look decorative. In fact, they're incredibly difficult to make. Why would you build a roof like this using 80-ton stone blocks from hundreds of miles away when you can't even see it from inside the chamber? Historians claim these were relieving chambers meant to prevent the room from collapsing under the weight of the pyramid. But here's the kicker. The chambers below had no such relief. On the other hand, if you were somehow able to apply pressure to these chambers, you'd get an electric charge from the quartz. A lot of it. But electricity can't just exist on its own. To utilize it, you need to direct it through something. Enter copper, a metal often used in wires to conduct electricity. And guess what a remote camera revealed in the pyramid's narrow shafts just a few years ago? 2 copper handles embedded into the stone at the end of the shaft, the only metal ever confirmed in Giza. Oh, and there's also what appears to be a wiring diagram painted on the side of the shaft. Modern Egyptologists claim these handles were used with ropes to pull jars up the shaft. Seriously? They're really reaching at this point. These shafts have no confirmed purpose. Some call them air vents, but some don't even lead to the outside. And in 2013, former Egyptian Antiquities Minister Zahi Hawass was accused of stealing artifacts from the pyramid. Among the rumored stolen items, long copper wires. Strange, right? Just what you'd need to complete an electric current.
That's him. That's that son of a bum I was talking about that doesn't let anyone learn anything more about Egypt. It's so crazy. Screw that guy. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. This finding, it kind of like is on the verge of confirming a lot of this stuff that we've been thinking about. Because if everything that this new study, these new findings are showing is true, then everything we know is a lie. Everything in writing is a lie, and it actually makes more sense for these theories of like it conducting electricity and it being much older than it is, and it being from an advanced civilization, a much smarter advanced civilization with the ability to build marvels that we still don't, were around prior to a great flood. Like it all just kind of coalesces and brings everything together. Like, we're not crazy. We're not crazy. This is good to know that, right?
Did you know that the Great Pyramid is almost perfectly aligned to what is called true north? Think it's a coincidence? Well, did you know that the Great Pyramid sides are on the exact line of the equator? And the 3 pyramids of Giza are perfectly aligned to match the belt of Orion. When you look at all the facts, it doesn't take a genius to understand that whoever built the most accurately aligned structure on Earth was not a simple people group using primitive methods, but incredibly intelligent workers.
Humans have 46 chromosomes and all primates have 48. All primates on Earth. I didn't know that. Every single primate has 48 chromosomes. It has to do with packages of DNA, basically. What they found within the human Homo sapiens sapien was that there was something within our DNA where parts of it had been like altered. Yeah, I'm like serious. And what they call those alterations and those things that scientists don't know, they call it junk DNA. That's what scientists call it, because when they compared every other comparable thing on Earth genetically, they found this small little area within our genetics that doesn't match anything on the planet. But here's the thing that's weird. Not only take the chromosome thing for a minute, which is very, very strange, because how something like a splicing of a DNA or altering could happen naturally, I've seen no anthropologists or scientists that can explain that. We're not strong anymore at all. Neanderthals and Denisovians were unbelievably strong. Right. The way that we have genetic diseases and the way our bone structure is and everything, it's like it was designed in a way to function for a different reason, to not be living off the land, to function as something with like a greater purpose. Yes.
According to interpretations of ancient Egyptian papyrus, as well as Sumerian cuneiform tablets, pyramid wars are theorized to have taken place about a millennia after the Great Deluge. Our saga begins in an era when divine entities, referred to as the Anunnaki in Sumerian mythology, held sway over the earth and its inhabitants. Central to the narrative is the land of Kem, ancient Egypt, where His Majesty Ra, the Falcon of the Horizon, and his lineage played pivotal roles in the unfolding drama. The tension brewed over the control of pivotal structures, the pyramids of Giza, and the strategic spaceport located in the Sinai Peninsula. The first pyramid war was ignited by deep-seated rivalries among the gods, particularly between the factions led by Enki Ptah and his son, Ra-Marduk. The Sumerian paradise myth and Egyptian theological texts hint at complex familial relationships and power dynamics among the gods, setting the stage for conflict. The catalyst for the first pyramid war was the machinations of Seth, who coveted the powers and territories allotted to Osiris, including the fertile lands of Lower Egypt and the monumental Giza pyramids. This conflict wasn't merely about territorial control, but also about influencing the space activities and the celestial comings and goings of the gods. Horus, the avenger of Osiris, led the charge against Seth, backed by the technological marvel of the winged disc, crafted by Thoth. The war culminated in Horus's victory, relegating Seth to the fringes of the Egyptian pantheon and securing the divine and earthly realms under Horus's dominion. The aftermath of the First Pyramid War set the stage for the Second Pyramid War, fueled by unresolved disputes and the illegal occupation of strategic territories by the descendants of the Hamitic Canaan. This war was not just a rehash of previous conflicts, but a sophisticated engagement involving advanced weaponry and strategies, showcasing the gods' prowess and their manipulation of natural and technological resources. Ninurta, representing the Enlilites, emerged as a key figure, employing a blend of military might and strategic ingenuity to challenge the defenses of the Great Pyramid. The conflict saw the involvement of other deities, including Ishtar and Nergal, each playing crucial roles in the unfolding battles.
Dude, if all this comes to light and ends up being true and is actually allowed to be like shown to be true, I'm gonna be the happiest person in the world. I'm gonna be so happy when all this bullshit that we've been being told forever just collapses around us. And like, oh no, we were wrong. It's so aggravating knowing that there are like organizations and countries and leaders and just people with self-interest that are like preventing us from knowing the truth, that don't want to dig anymore because they don't want us to know the truth, or where there's aliens not telling us the truth for some reason, or politicians or business owners or oil tycoons or whatever. The fact that there are people that don't want us to know the truth, people that don't want us to dig and know the truth, people that don't want to work together collectively as a race, like of humans, and work to learn from our past and work to progress and build and grow toward the future. It's so frustrating to me. I hate that humans are so selfish, because I just want to know, and I'm sure you do too. I just want to know what our past is. I want to know what really happened. I want to know what's really happening. And I want to know that, you know, we're all working together to get our society and our race as humans and residents of this planet, that we're working to grow and progress and explore and learn. And that's really all I want. So I hope this is true, and I hope it's accepted by mainstream science and archaeology, because that is a huge step for people to start waking up and accepting these like fringe topics that we talk about on this channel every day, pretty much. So, but that's that. So let me know what you think down below. If I missed anything, if you have any other information, drop a comment, let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, share it with a friend, and comment and let me know what you want to see in the next one. Until next time, peace.